Hey guys,
I'm Jerry.
I'm Sierra,
We're ladies.
and we tangent.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. We are so excited. The response to our Moment House show has been
Just incredible.
amazing so far.
Yes.
Thank you so much if you've already gotten a ticket. And if you haven't and or don't know what we're talking about,
Yes.
we are doing a virtual live show with Moment House on December 7th,
Yes.
6 p.m. 6 p.m. Pacific.
You almost said
Western.
I thought you were going to say specific.
I almost said Western time, and I know that's not right. 9 p.m. Eastern, though.
Yes, we know that one.
I know Eastern.
It's going to be available for 72 hours. So if you can't watch it, or if you're like in somewhere where it's going to be 3 a.m. when it's live, I'm so sorry, but we will have.
Yeah,
It'll be available for 72 hours.
you'll have access for 72 hours.
Yes.
There's an after party add-on.
Yes.
And merch. We
Yeah.
did have meet and greets, but unfortunately they sold out.
Yeah.
We're so excited for those of you who did get
Yeah.
meet and greets. We can't wait to meet you.
We honestly can't even believe that some people did it, let
I
alone that
know.
it sold out as quickly as it did.
Yeah.
We were like not expecting
Unreal.
that. So thank you so
Yeah.
much. Say we have live show merch that's just for the live show.
Yes,
So
the merch is exclusive for the live show. It's only available with the purchase of a ticket, so it won't be available afterwards.
yes. So I just wanted to, because
Yeah.
that was a question that we kept
Yes.
getting asked. So go to
momenthouse.com/ladies and tangents.
yes. You can get your ticket. You can get any add-ons. You can get some merch.
Yeah, put us on your story. Let us know that you're coming to hang out.
Oh my God, yeah, we love that.
With
I love
Ladies
seeing it.
After Dark.
Thank you guys. See you December 7th.
I love that you waved for all of
Goodbye.
the audio people.
From TikTok.
The what dog?
It was like, what's his name? I want to say Chubby, but that's not it. He says something. Can I get an awa awa? And the dog goes awa awa.
No.
It's a chihuahua. What is his name? Chewy? No. It doesn't matter.
Anyway.
Anyways, I think he died.
Oh, see, that's why I don't really like the Bones dog.
Just in case you don't want to get attached.
Yeah,
I
and I
understand.
don't like him telling me what to do. To be honest.
Every day that they're like, it's a Bones Day, and I was like, cool, it's 4 p.m. and I'm still in bed. Way to make me feel worse.
Fuck your Bones
That
day.
a fucking elderly dog is up and moving and I'm not. That makes me feel like shit.
Listen, I love that for you.
Yeah.
I love that people love things.
Yeah.
Just I don't want it.
No.
Get it away from me.
I don't want to know about his bones.
I want nothing to do.
My
with
bones
his
are Phil struggling. My bones are struggling.
What's up, everyone?
Oh.
I forgot.
Hello.
What's up? That we didn't do that yet. What's up, everyone?
What's up, everyone?
Hello.
We're rusty.
We are rusty. We
gotta
took what, a
put these
3-week break?
Yeah, we did.
We took 3 weeks off.
Was it
and that's-
longer than that? I think it was longer than that because we had the week before I went into labor off.
The 10th was the last day we recorded, so it's been a month.
Yeah.
We took a month off recording, and we have not done that since we started the podcast in 2019. The
Yep.
most we've taken off is like 2 weeks.
Yep. Did we even
A week?
Yeah, 1 week when you had your baby.
No.
No?
When you went on vacation.
Oh, that's right.
Because when
But we did record too. But yeah,
we recorded 2 and then you were gone for a week. But when
Yeah.
I had Forrest,
we went right back.
the episode was out on Friday. I had him on a Monday and we put it out on Friday.
That was really
Yeah.
impressive. Good for you. I could not have done that.
Thanks.
We
were at my house.
and we
so.
also didn't have to get ready. I remember
Yes,
what we
weren't
looked
doing
like.
video. We were not doing video then.
Yeah.
That was a blessing.
Pretty sure you sat on a boppy pillow the whole time.
Did I? Oh my
'Cause you
gosh,
were
probably.
hurting. Yeah.
Because I couldn't find my donut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was rough.
This coochie was flaming. Anyway.
This coochie understands.
Well, I'm excited to find out what happened because you had her 3 weeks ago and I have no fucking clue what happened. I know when you went in and I know when she was born. What happened in between there, I don't know. But I want to go back to what we were talking about before, about people loving things.
Go ahead. You're going to tell me about that book, are you?
What book?
Where the Crawdad?
Okay.
'Cause-
We have so much to talk
I
about
know.
that has nothing to do with you giving birth, but we are
Welcome
going
to
to get
the
to that.
2-hour episode.
Welcome to We Haven't Spoken Really in a Month.
Yeah, literally.
So, one,
Okay.
I forgot about the crawdads thing that we were going to talk about. So today I decided that I was going to start reading and showing Ollie like, people read.
That's good.
Yeah. Pick up a book, kid.
Do as I say, not as I do.
And I know that's people's favorite book, right?
Oh, I liked it. Yeah.
How did you read it? I couldn't get through the first 2 pages.
Okay, it's really hard to get into.
They were using words, and I'm like, why are those in that sentence together? It was like language gumbo. I could not understand a fucking bit of it.
Okay, you might need to dip your toe into reading. That might have been too much.
Honestly,
shock to the system.
I was like, did I come in too hot, too fast?
Because that's his word.
I need to go back to where they put stars on books so I know what level I'm at. Because that was like a 5-star, and I need to start out at like level 1.
I'll tell you, with books like that, I just kind of skim the first couple pages because it's a lot of like
setting the scene.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck what a swamp looks like.
Oh my God.
A swamp.
Yes.
Yeah, the swamp was green and muggy.
Yeah, but if they would have said green and muggy, I would have understood. They were like the grass and the lean and the ground and the trees bendy. And I'm like, what? At least that's how my mind translated it. I think they use better literary terms, but my mind was like, what the fuck's happening?
I'll be honest, sometimes with beginning chapters of books, I just have to look up the summary for the first chapter and then skip to the second because the first chapters are sometimes so hard to get into.
It was very difficult. And because
that's an ADHD tip for everybody because
my mind kept immediately being like, we don't want to be here. We do not want to be here. And I felt like because it was set in like the 60s, it was using this like dialogue that I don't get, and the flow of it was weird. And I was like,
what?
I quit.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
So
books like that are hard to get into, but then like
if anyone that's your favorite book and you want it, send me your address. I'll send it to you because I can't fucking read that book. And I don't want to try because it makes me feel bad.
I understand.
Yeah.
But then like once you get into like what the moment is.
But I don't care.
Okay, well then fuck it.
Is there a movie?
Not yet, but I think there's going to be.
Well then good. I'll wait for that.
Okay, that's probably because everything that you're reading about you could just see.
Yes, I've already been traumatized. I don't want to read it anymore. Anyway, okay, so that's one thing.
Okay.
People can enjoy that book. People are not me. Okay.
Got it.
But I have 2 things I'd like to talk about. One, I owe an apology to the Swifties.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Why? What'd you do?
I talked shit about Taylor Swift at some point in one of our episodes. I didn't talk shit about her. I just said that like I wasn't a fan.
Oh, I think I probably agreed.
Probably.
Because same.
I've seen her live because she opened for Rascal Flatts like a long time ago.
Yeah.
It had to be like 2009, 2010. Like it was her first album. And I was like, she's a good little singer, isn't she?
Yeah.
A little performer, but I was there to see Rascal Flatts, so I didn't care. But then I let the media manipulate me, and they kind of did to her what they did back, to Britney Spears and Paris Hilton and Lindsay Lohan and Amanda Bynes.
Crazy.
And And they invalidated everything that she had to say, and
that
me
she was speaking about,
and my internal misogyny
was like, she's crazy. Yeah.
Oh my God, read about something meaningful. But like
that
now,
is meaningful.
I know. Now adult me can like really understand and resonate with it, and like
I'm sorry, I just keep licking this.
I'm tired of being a hater. And like when she came out with Reputation, I had so much fucking respect for her. And when not that she cares, she's like, I don't need your respect. I respect myself. But I just want to say, if I publicly was like, I'm not a fan, I'm going to publicly say now that I am a fan. I really respected and liked Reputation. I really respected and loved Lover. And now I have mad fucking respect for her for re-recording all of her albums and re-releasing them as hers. She owns them now. Did you know about this?
I have not heard anything. I'm honestly just surviving last couple weeks. I don't know shit about what's happening elsewhere.
So Scooter Braun is a music producer.
Sure he is.
He's like Justin Bieber's person.
And his name's Scooter?
I love that that's where I lost you.
No, I'm just kidding. He sounds real.
So Scooter's a big bad bully.
I'm sorry, Scooter. Oh, wait, no, fuck you.
No, okay. So Scooter, I don't know Scooter's business, but I have to say his name 4 more times, I think. So Scooter,
it makes the story better.
He owned all of her music. Like I don't know if it was his company or like whatever company he worked for, like owned all of her music. And so all the money that was like being made from putting out all this stuff wasn't going to her, even though she wrote, there's like some albums she wrote all of the songs on it and then the majority of the other ones. I don't know a lot. I just know a little. But so she re-recorded all of her albums and is re-releasing them as like Lover, Taylor's version, Red, Taylor's version, so that now she owns the rights to those songs.
Are they different songs or
they're just the exact same songs re-recorded.
She has they're hers. Love that for her.
Me too. And she put out Red today. And there's a song called All Too Well, which I had never listened to before. I know I'm living under a rock. So many of you are like, that was my childhood. I'm sorry, there's an owl. What? Peeking out. Do you see it? I'm going to take a video for those of you who are watching on YouTube. There's an owl across the room. And I just caught it out of the corner of my eye. Anyway.
He's like, hello.
I know. He was like, who? And I'm like, Scooter.
Scooter, whatever.
Taylor Allison Swift is Scooter. Anyway, I had never listened to the song before, but it's about Jake Gyllenhaal. Her relationship with Jake Gyllenhaal.
I didn't know she ever had one.
Yes. And there's a scarf. It's a big deal. This was 13 years ago, to be fair.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, she just put out a 10-minute version of it today. The words "fuck the patriarchy" are in it. I don't know if it was always in it, but it's in there now.
Okay.
And
I'm here for that.
It's phenomenal. She put out a short film, and I know I am a fan, and I have so much respect for her.
That's really amazing.
And I'm tired of hating on people loving things, and people love her hard.
Yeah. Hey, congrats or whatever.
Yeah.
You say to people who are, I just don't know enough, because here's what I do with people like Taylor Swift. I'll be like, yeah, I'm not really a fan. And then every time a song comes on of hers, I'm like, know all the words. But like,
Blank Space, I was like,
yes.
Yes. Or when I think 22 was on Red. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22. Yeah. That song, I was like, I think I was turning 22 about the time it came out. And I'm like, well, fuck. Yeah. It says 22. Yes. I have to like it.
Yeah. So I'm a fan of, I can't say I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
But I'm just not like,
I was like real boldly vocal about it. And now I would like to retract that statement. And
I'm glad you did.
It's weird that like when people find us, they get to know 3 years of us. Like they get to know so many different versions of us. Yeah. And you don't usually get to meet people like that.
Yeah.
And so I want to like say never mind.
I know there are people that are like, oh my god, I just started from the beginning and you said this and blah blah blah, and I'm like, I'm not that person anymore.
I know
she's changed.
I listened to our Christmas episode because everyone was confused about the Saturnalia sweatshirts.
Yeah. Oh, we'll have to talk about Moment House here. Did we do that yet?
No, we don't. We'll talk about it and we'll throw it back in there.
Yes.
But I was listening to myself and I was trying to joke, but I don't think I was as obvious as I would be now. And I was like really talking about faith a lot and like Jesus a lot. And I was like, fucking, yo, chill. And also why we were so afraid to like piss off Christians.
Yeah.
We were so scared. And now we're like, never mind.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not afraid to piss Christians off. I don't want to offend people necessarily, but like, I'm not going to tiptoe around shit anymore.
Yeah, because I'm not a Christian.
Right.
So like I it was funny because I remember myself being like, oh, I can't say things like that. Like I'm not a Christian or I don't believe in certain things. And it's like, why?
Yes.
That's what I believe. Or you can't you can't be offended because I don't believe in your religion.
Right. And in there, we talked about pagans and I was like, oh my God, pagans are the devil. And you're like, that's not what paganism is.
Did
and
I say that?
Yeah, well, we looked it up. We looked it up because I was like, well, what is it? And you're like, I don't know, but I don't think it's that. And then we looked it up. Yeah. But you said, you know why people want you to think that is because you want to demonize things to force Christianity on people. And like, it's weird knowing that people can hear a different version of us than we are now, but it's also cool to go back and listen and be like, well, how much we've grown, how much we've learned.
Look, you can learn things.
You can change your mind.
That's important.
Yes.
You don't have to be that same person that you were. And also, you don't have to like double down. If you're like, no, wait, I believe, or I said this one time, so now I have to double down because I'm embarrassed that I said it. You can just be like, oh, I fucked up. I didn't know what that was. And then I learned and now I corrected myself.
Yes.
And everything you do is rooted in witchcraft. And that's not a bad thing.
Another thing that I think I've previously shamed people for, but I am now allowing myself to enjoy is ASMR.
I fucking hate ASMR.
Do you?
Yeah, I don't know how you have misophonia and you can handle ASMR.
I know.
Because I think I don't have misophonia, but that gives it to me because I cannot, especially like no.
Okay, so that was super weird to me.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was just talking for 3 minutes without turning on the recording, but I was explaining.
You gotta stop doing that.
We're new.
Yeah.
It's been a month.
Get off our fucking back.
Us. But I was saying that I fall asleep every night to this ASMR and this tingly stuff that she does.
Tell me what she does again.
Well, there's more triggers I didn't tell you about.
Oh.
I had already told her that she like touches a disco ball and she
touches her glasses.
Touches her glasses, which I watched it with Ollie and he cuddled with me for like 45 minutes.
He was probably into it too.
Yes. Yeah. And then when she started doing that with her glasses, he started doing it with his nothing. He doesn't wear glasses, but like he just started tickling his own face and it was really cute.
I bet that is relaxing for him.
Yeah, when she calls them hater blockers and she says, thanks for the hater blockers when someone sends her like glasses as a gift. And then she plucks the negativity.
Yeah, I love that.
And
it feels good.
I don't know how she says it. Like, but like in my ear, it sounds so nice.
What is it? That's when she's plucking?
Pluck the negativity, but she says it without words. So she just goes,
Oh, that makes me a little uncomfy.
You have to hear it.
Oh, okay.
And then what else does she do?
I'm taking your word for this because, again, ASMR makes me feel... Did we talk about how it's sexual?
Oh,
was that
yeah.
part that was cut
that
out?
was cut out.
It feels dirty to me.
Yeah.
A little sexual. Like I walked in on someone.
But that's
touching themselves.
It feels good, though.
And they want me to watch them. And I'm like, it feels like I shouldn't, but do me next.
That's what it is like, and it's good. I'm not shaming any. Do you know what they're called? They're called ASM artists. It's like a sandwich artist, but for your ears.
ASM artist.
Yeah,
that's so clever because I was gonna say ASMers. ASMRs.
ASM artist.
That's way better than mine.
And then
I'm really fucking champing this down. I haven't had beer in a while.
Oh yeah. Well, and this is strong stuff because it's Christmas ale.
I don't feel anything yet. I'm scared.
I bet you will soon. Anyway, so that's what's going on with me is I'm falling asleep to ASMR every night. And I was super embarrassed about it.
Maybe I should try it when my child won't stop crying.
Yeah.
I wonder if she'll like it.
I'll have to play it for you because it's really soothing. And she has a YouTube channel. I don't think I said it on here. The only one I can watch is Vivacity is her name. But Shane knows that I fall asleep listening to this. And so then he just turns it off and turns my fan app on and plugs my phone in after I fall asleep.
Oh, that's really sweet.
I know. I was embarrassed for a while, and so I'd fall asleep with headphones in, and he was like, Jerry, I know. Okay. I see it. You don't have to do that.
He walks over and your phone's like...
Well, my headphones would die, and then he'd walk into the room after he got done showering at night, and he'd just hear whispering and be like, what the fuck?
That's
what the fuck is in here? I know.
It's more embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
Aw, good for you, though. Good for her.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to make sure I got that correct.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not doing anything fun.
You just brought life into the world, which I can't wait to hear about how you did it.
Can you tell my makeup, you guys, if it is thick? It's because my circles under my eyes are so intense.
I don't think it looks thick.
You can't tell? I put so much concealer. They were literally so dark, it looked like I got punched in the face.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, I am so tired.
Yeah.
So she's a one. You guys, I had a baby.
She had a baby. Sawyer's here.
So her
Gregorny Gail.
Her name is Gregorny Gail. No, her name is Sawyer Elaine. I think I said that before in another one, but I don't know if I did. Did I say it in one that we've released?
No, you've not said her full name.
Sawyer Elaine.
You said in the Mother's Day episode that you like the name Sawyer, and it might be that.
Yeah. So Elaine comes from, it's my mom's name, Corey's mom's middle name, my sister's middle name.
Yeah.
A lot of people we know. So that's her name. She's just, we got a lot right on the predictions.
We did.
I nailed it with the hair. She has my hair exactly. She kind of looks just like me.
Yep.
The older she gets, I didn't know when she first came out how she was gonna look. Like, because when they're new babies, it's like, who the fuck are you gonna be?
Well, and they change so much.
They do.
And the photos that you sent me in the hospital, like, they looked like 3 different babies. It was all the same day, just a different angle.
Like forming.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you. Okay, let's just
I tried to stare at her and be like, is that a vaginal birth head or is that a C-section head?
Which, you couldn't tell?
No.
She did not have a cone head.
Well, I know, that's why I thought C-section. By the way, if you guys are triggered,
I was going to say, we're going to talk about blood, poop, puke, like
birth.
This is birth stuff, so please feel free to
skip this if you need to.
Yeah, because we're going all in, baby. Should we just start from the beginning?
Yeah, if you want. This is your story. I'm just here.
Okay, so we'll start from the beginning. So you guys remember how I was just having massive contractions while I was sitting here on the couch? Turns out they were doing something.
Yep.
I couldn't tell if they were like false labor contractions or real labor. No, I was in labor for like weeks. So if you don't know, because we don't have great health education in America. So you can,
in Ohio specifically.
Seriously. You can be in labor for like weeks, but it's early labor. But it's still, you're having contractions that are progressing and dilating your cervix. And so normally when you get to like 4 to 6, your contractions will start getting more intense. And that's when you'll be in what's called active labor. And that's when they won't let you leave from the hospital. That means that you're probably going to have a baby.
Right.
Soon. That's what's going to happen.
But you can be suspended in that like pre-labor for a while. Like we've talked about before how I was 3 centimeters dilated for weeks.
Same with when I went into early labor with Noah, I was 2 centimeters from 27 weeks on.
Yep.
Until I went in.
That's terrifying.
So I was having like contractions, but just not consistent enough. But my water broke, so I knew when to go. So I was
with Noah.
Yes. So I was really hoping my water would break with this one. It did not. So that Monday, we'll go back to Monday the 18th.
Despite our efforts.
Yeah. So Monday the 18th, I go to the doctors. They do a cervical check. And at that point, I had only been at 1 centimeter. But I had been having contractions. And I told him that. I'm like, hey, I'm having some like intense contractions. He's like, well, we'll check you then because I was 38 weeks. 38 and some. Almost 39. So he said, we'll check in. He's like, oh my God, you're 4+. Like you are. And normally with first labors, they send you to the hospital after 4. But with second,
because he told you like you could go home, get your bag and come back.
Yes.
Or you can just wait. And you're like,
I was like, I'm going to try to progress it because a lot of times hospitals, if it's your second baby, will send you home until you're at 6.
Yep.
If your contractions aren't consistent and mine weren't.
Right.
So I called Jerry. I was like, this is what's going on, whatever. She's like, do you want to walk tonight? I was like, yeah, let's do some walking. I got spicy Mexican food. Went home, ate that. We went curb walking, which is like where I've never heard of this, but
I thought someone, our friend Megan sent us curb walking, and I was like, do you mean crab walking? I was trying to imagine Sierra 9 months pregnant. Crab walking was just almost comical enough for us to try.
I should have.
Yeah.
So with curb walking, you walk with one foot like on a curb and one foot on, and like, I don't know. Apparently, it's supposed to open your shit up. Or
That's
whatever.
what all the scientists say.
That's a scientific term for it. I have to go into my notepad because I wrote notes. Because again, I for sure thought that I was going to forget my labor.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I went home. You left. I went inside. I got on my ball and I was just bouncing for like 2 hours. So I'm like, let's go. But I was having contractions. They weren't very consistent. I went to bed. I woke up, was still having contractions. Again, nothing I could time. This is Tuesday now. So they were pretty bad all night. Couldn't sleep again.
Right.
Which was pretty normal. I woke up and I can't remember what I did. But then around like noon, I took a nap. I was like, I have to sleep.
Yep.
So I slept from like 12 to 3. You called me. We had a business meeting.
Oh, yeah.
Which I like to remember because I was like, I was in labor, like taking a business meeting.
Oh, yeah, because.
Yeah. And I was, well, I think we were Marco Polo. You weren't actually.
Yeah.
But I messaged you back and I was like, hey, that sounds great to me. I am in the worst pain I've ever been in.
Yep.
I think these are real. Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm waiting for Corey to come home. He was at work. I'm like, I don't know. We might have to go. But I was waiting on my water to break. Yep. I just really wanted it to break so that I could know.
Because we've discussed how hard it is to know if it's for real or not without that signal.
And I live like 40 minutes away from the hospital. I didn't want to go get all checked in and then have them be like, go home and then waste that whole day.
But we talked about before how we gave birth at the same place. And had I waited until my water broke, I would have had a baby in the car.
Yes.
So there was like that.
Till we...
What?
I'm so excited to tell you about this. Okay.
What?
Also, this is important. I thought I had to shit. Like, I had to so bad. But nothing. I kept sitting on the toilet. I told Corey this because he was on his way home. And I was like, I have to shit, but I keep sitting on the toilet and nothing is coming out. But like, I know I have to shit.
I think we talked about this because you kept saying, I don't know
if I have to poop or if this is like pressure.
Yes. So
we called his mom. His mom is a labor and delivery nurse. And I was like, hey, I'm having really bad. But they weren't real contractions up here. They were all in my back. But that's what I had with Noah. I had all back labor. So I was like, I know what this feels like. It's not tightening up here, but it is like someone is stabbing me in the back, in the spine. And I had all that pressure. And she's like, with the pressure plus that pain, just go up. It's better to be whatever. So we were like, okay. We decided to stop and get chicken.
Why?
Because Corey hadn't eaten yet. And he was like, let's go through Lee's.
Okay.
Which most people are not going to know what that is. But it's like KFC.
It is. But also, were you trying to get yourself to shit? Because I cannot eat Lee's without taking a big old pooparooski.
Well, so I was like, I don't want chicken. I don't want greasy chicken. I have to shit, and also I'm having contractions. So I was like,
and it takes forever to get through Lee's. That's the slowest fast food place you could go
That's
to.
What I said. And literally, there's always like an hour-long line.
Yeah.
Luckily, there wasn't.
He was like,
we went at, like,
hold on. Okay. Let me get some fucking chicken.
Can I get some fucking chicken? So I just got mashed potatoes and green beans because I'm like, I just want to live. Not together.
The idea, even separate, the idea of eating green beans while I'm in labor is fucking gross.
Well, here we go. I didn't eat them.
Okay.
Because I took 2 bites of the mashed potatoes and thought I was going to throw up.
Threw them out the window immediately.
The pain was so bad. I was like, I cannot eat.
It did that was your like pre-labor meal.
Mashed potatoes and green beans.
Ew. Okay.
It's all I could have.
This girl loves Thanksgiving.
Well, here's the deal. I couldn't eat them. And so the last meal that I had was at Mexican.
Yeah, the day before.
The day before. So I'm like, God, I kind of hope this isn't real because I'm not going to be able to eat.
Because I'm hungry.
I'm so hungry, but I couldn't eat because I was so sick because the contractions were so bad.
Yeah.
So we drive all the way up. We get in. I'm waddling. The lady is like, oh, my God.
That is a laboring lady.
Well, and there was a lady right ahead of me who was like this on the, like putting, like she had a bag that she was throwing up into. And I'm like, oh, the plague. Don't get near her. And the lady was like, no, she's also in labor. And I'm like, shit, twosies. We're fucking twins. Do you want to walk up together? She did not want to walk. She got a wheelchair and was wheeled up.
Did you walk like a bad bitch? Damn.
They were like, do you want a wheelchair? And I was like, I'll take the stairs. I just really wanted to progress and like get this freaking. I was like, let's go. If it's
you guys got any curbs here?
Yeah. I was like,
you want to see me crab walk up these stairs?
I was like, I'm not going home. So we walked up. And they're getting stronger, and I'm like, ooh,
that's 3 flights of stairs.
I didn't go up the stairs. I did take the elevator.
Okay.
But I did walk from the elevator and then on. So they get us in. The lady hooks us up. There's like not a doctor there, but there's a resident. So she's new-ish, but she's like a doctor, I guess. Mm-hmm. Sorry, residents, if you're listening. I know that you're like real doctors. You went to medical school, but that's like in there. Yeah. They're not interns, but whatever.
Yeah.
So
you just knew.
Yeah. So they hooked me up. She checked me. She was like, oh, you're at a 5. And I was like, oh, cool. I was at a 4 earlier. Yeah. So great. And she's like, well, we're going to wait because your contractions aren't that great. So we'll wait for an hour and see if you progress any. Because if you don't, we're just going to send you home. And I'm like, fuck. And I'm watching my contractions and they're like little teeny tiny things. And the people beside me are like fucking hills. Yeah. And I'm like, shit, mine fucking sucks.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah. I was like, so Corey kept looking at me. He's like, they're sending us home. We're going home for sure. And I was like,
you shut your fucking mouth, Corey.
I knew it too, though. I was like,
go switch my monitor with her.
I know. I was like, get over here and stimulate my nipple. Let's get this going. Yeah. So I still hadn't shit, by the way, at this point. Uh-huh. So she comes back in. She's like, okay, we'll check in. At this point, it's like 7 p.m. So I'm like, oh my God, if they send us home, Corey's going to have to go home and go right to bed. Because he's got to go to work at 4:30 in the morning. He's going to be pissed.
Yeah.
So as she's coming in to check me, she's giving me discharge instructions because she's like, this is not like.
And you're like, don't you worry. I know how to discharge.
I've been discharging all day. She was like, so, come back if they get like this and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, we'll check it, but your contractions are not very good. She checks me and she's like, oh, you're at 6 centimeters. Oh. And I was like, yeah. I was like, let's wheel. So they started wheeling us into an actual room. And I looked at Corey and I was like, we are having a baby tonight.
I remember you texting me and saying they're admitting me.
So at that point, me and Corey are staring at each other. We are like kind of in shock, but smiling. But because at that point, both of us thought we were going home. Yeah. We're like, fuck, this sucks. But okay, well, at least we know. And so both of us are looking at each other like, oh, fuck, we're having a baby. Yeah. Now.
Apologize to your uterus for like shit talking its work.
I know. You were doing great.
You're a grower, not a shower. You know what I mean?
Contractions for getting the job done. Yeah. They just work very hard. Yeah. I got softies. But I was feeling them all on my ass.
Yeah, they had the monitors in the wrong place. That's not your fault.
I was like, put one on my asshole. You'll feel these bad boys.
You want to see a spike? Put that on my taint.
That shit is thumping. So, okay. They admit me. This is at 8 p.m. That's so funny. 8 p.m. I get settled into my room. Mm-hmm. They give me a popsicle. I am living life. I know. I was like, am I on holiday? Although it was grape and fuck grape. I
was going to say, was it banana at least?
No, it was grape. And I was like, I didn't get to pick the first time. The second time I was like, red or nothing. Are you fucking kidding me?
Don't you fucking come back in here with a purple popsicle.
If you come back in here with purple and orange or orange, I'm leaving. Yeah. I give a fuck if I'm having a baby. So my contractions are starting they're starting to get closer together, but they're still like small. But again, I'm like, I don't know, I'm feeling them pretty hard.
Okay, to be fair, whenever they were doing mine, they didn't do an internal, they did an external.
Well, that's what the lady said. I bet if we put it internal that we would be able to tell her.
100%, because Shane was looking at it and he was like, Jerry, you seem like you're in a lot of pain. And I was like, I am in a lot of pain. And he's like, And I kept looking and it said like 40.
Yeah.
And I was like, if that goes up to 100 and this is what 40 feels like,
I'm just gonna die.
yeah. And then they did the internal monitor and it immediately spiked up to 80. And I'm like, that makes more fucking sense.
Okay. Yeah. So they never did the internal. And they were like, you're really champing through these. And I was like, thank you. It's all in my ass.
Yeah.
So they got me a peanut ball because I didn't have an epidural at this part.
What's a peanut ball?
So, okay, it literally is shaped like a peanut.
Okay.
And you lay on your side and you put it between your legs.
Okay.
And it's supposed to like open your shit.
Got it.
So I was laying on this side. I was laying on this side. At one point I was throning it.
Okay.
If you're listening, you're going to want to go to YouTube and look. So they had me in all sorts of situations, right? Which is kind of like, oh my God, after a while it was hurting. Like my legs started going numb. And at that point I'm like, I have to shit. Like really bad. And they were like, okay. The nurse wanted to come in with me because she thought I was going to have a baby.
Yeah.
She's like, let me check you one more time because you're talking about pressure. It was still at like, I think I was at a 7 at this point.
Okay.
So she's like, okay, you're at a 7. Go shit. But here's the button. Fuck it. If you feel a head come out, you need to ring that shit. Yeah. And I was like, tight.
Imagining that your nurse is speaking like this. In my mind, I'm picturing like a drunk history scene.
Oh, wait a minute. Because I think she listens now. Because we vibed. She was so cool. Her name's Sydney. What's up? I hope that's right. It's been almost a month. I think that's right. But she was fucking cool as shit.
Who was mine?
I don't.
You worked with her.
I did?
Yeah.
Chris.
Yes.
Chris
was mine.
Yeah.
And she walked in like, why are you fucking screaming?
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah. And I'm like, there's a head.
Yeah. It's
anyway. Yeah.
So, yeah, drunk history. I wish we could replay this, but she was super cool. And, she basically did say it like that. She was like, yo, go shit, but like, call me if you need me, girl. I was like, I got you. So I shit. Mm-hmm. And it was so much. And I was like, yo, if I had not gotten this out, I can't even imagine. First of all, I was in there for like 20 minutes. And Corey, sorry.
I know that one went to the back of my throat.
Corey kept going, you okay? Keep in mind, everybody in there thinks I'm about to have a baby. So like everybody's like, knock, knock, knock. And I'm like, still a shit.
Still pooping. We be shitting.
We do be shitting.
I was pooping at a gas station. We had to stop on the way home from Cleveland the other day, and I was like, Shane, I'm gonna poop. And so I run into the gas station. And remember, when someone knocks on the door, I say nothing. And so they knock, and I'm quiet. And then I hear them say, go get the key. I think that they just... I think they just lock the bathrooms. And you have to go ask for a key. And I go, oh, no, someone's in here. I'm almost done. But anyway, sorry, that just reminded me of that.
That is funny as shit.
I was so scared someone was about to unlock it. You're like, hello.
No. Well, that's what I didn't have mine locked at all.
Right.
And I was like, I'm just expecting them like barging in there and being like, it's been 20 minutes. Is there a baby? And I'm like, still just shit.
They just hear crying.
It's me. This hurts.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I gotta remember what happened. So,
okay.
All right. I'm pooping. We're done. It's over. I feel so much better. But also my contractions go away.
Uh-oh.
Like,
I was going to have a poop, not a baby.
What? But I was progressing.
Oh my God, we were checking your anus the whole time. And that was 7 centimeters.
Your asshole was huge.
We mistook it. You're actually not dilated at all.
So weird. Oh my God, that's fucked up. Yeah. So,
okay.
They checked me again. At this point, I'm 8 centimeters. And I'm fucking chugging right along. No epidural, but my contractions are slowing down. They haven't stopped all the way, but they've slowed down.
But you haven't had your water break yet.
So the lady goes, hey, here's the deal. If your water doesn't, she said, the resident wants to break your water. and she wants to start Pitocin because you're at 8 centimeters and you are not progressing anymore. This is not good. Yeah. And she's like, and everybody kept coming in and they were like,
at this point, what time of the day, the evening is it?
It was like 3 a.m.
Okay. Yeah, that's when you are that far along and you're like...
Haven't eaten. I was so fucking tired. And
your labor's stalling.
Yes.
You're now hitting a danger zone.
I was scared.
Yep.
Like, I started to get scared. So they were like, we're going to start all these things because we don't want this to... and she was down very low.
Well, when I hadn't heard from you, when I woke up and didn't have a text saying that there was a baby, I got really nervous.
My mom did too. Everybody was so scared. And I was like, I'm sorry, I haven't been updating anyone. But at this point, I was like in excruciating pain at that point.
Right. And I didn't know, like, maybe you had gotten an epidural in the middle of the night. And so, like, it slowed down. And we were like, because I do know some people, like, go into labor for like 24 or 48 hours. But I didn't want to text you, one, because if you're in labor, like, it's not your job to update me, and two, it was supposed to be content. So.
I can't know.
Right.
Yes.
I have to monetize your life.
Well, I didn't update anybody because at that point, also, you start getting I was getting in my own head, and I like didn't want to talk about it because I was getting so upset.
Yep.
I didn't want to tell people about it. I was just like, I'll tell them when the baby gets here. But I really thought it was going to be sooner than that. Like, I was thinking I am going to... But when they admitted me at at 6:30 and I was in my room at 8, I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have a baby this day. Like, I could have a baby before midnight. So then when it's 3 a.m, I'm like, fuck, well, maybe I'll at least have one at nighttime. No.
Yeah.
So when she tells me that the doctor is ordering, we're gonna do Pitocin and all these things because you're stalling and we're getting worried and blah blah whatever, I was like, hey, can I get that epidural then, because I don't want to feel any of that. Yeah. And they're like, sure. At this point, too, because it had gone on so long. So, like, when you're in labor, first of all, you start shaking.
Yep.
Even if your water hasn't broken. I thought it was just if your water breaks, but I was shaking. I was throwing up. I started throwing up, and I had a really bad headache.
Yeah. And you haven't eaten, so that's going to be exacerbated.
And they had fluids coming in me, but, like, on my IV. But everything else, like, it was rough. I was starting to feel rough. I was getting really tired.
Yeah.
And, like, the nurse came in and she was like, oh girl, you look not good, because I was like just like so exhausted from contracting and feeling everything. She's like, let's get you the epidural. Fucking best decision I ever made. I'll tell you, I wanted to go all natural. I said that because I didn't like what happened with Noah when I got my epidural. This completely changed it. So she gave it to me. I was still really nauseous. They gave me Zofran in my IV. And then I started, like, I immediately got my energy back. I was like, what? And I felt like
a new person.
Amazing again. I was up talking and, like, fucking around with the nurses. We were having a good time. They did the peanut ball again, which they had to flop my legs.
That's the weirdest feeling when they got to move your legs for you.
And I'm like, well,
why do they feel so much heavier than when I move them?
Right. The problem was one of them was completely numb. Perfect. Love that. The other one was suspended in, like, this half numbness, like when your foot falls asleep. Dude, that was so painful. I was almost about to cry. I kept having Corey come over and, like, lift my leg and massage it because I was like, oh my God, it feels like a muscle is, like, cramping.
Did they give you another dose?
Well, I had a little button I could dose myself, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
They were like, you can only dose yourself every 20 minutes. And I was like,
you're like, who's counting? Because to me, it's been 20.
And I was fine. It wouldn't let it go unless it was 20 minutes, but I was really pushing it on the edge there. Okay, so at this point, we're past 3 a.m., which, by the way, something that people don't talk about a lot is, like, I would get attached to my nurses, and then they just fucking left at 3 a.m. And I was like, no, I'm not done yet. You have to stay until I have my baby.
It made me sad because some of them wouldn't say goodbye. And I was like,
I literally told Corey's mom about that because I was like, hey, can you tell your coworkers to start saying goodbye to people? Because I have abandonment issues. The one that Sydney, she said goodbye to me before she left. So thank God. But then I had another one that I really liked, and she was one of my like aftercare nurses. And so in the middle of the night, she just like I woke up and it was another nurse, and she's like, hi, I'm your nurse. And I was like, where the fuck did Pam go? Who are you? I don't know you. Get out of there. And so I was like,
you don't know me like that.
She didn't come to say goodbye. Okay.
But she was like, did I not matter to you?
I'm assuming she didn't want to wake me up because it was like,
wake me.
Yeah, I want to be woken.
Wake me up
before you go, or I'm gonna think you abandoned me.
You fucking hate me.
Yeah. And I was like, cool. I thought we had a thing. We were really vibing. And then you fucking left. You ghosted me.
You squirted that water bottle at my vagina just so tenderly.
Well, I'll tell you why I had a thing with Pam. We had a moment.
Okay.
So
anyway,
I had about 8 nurses during this whole thing, by the way, because a lot of them were like floaters. So they weren't there for full shifts.
Okay.
And they would only be there for a couple hours. And I got like really close with some of them. And then they just fucking be a new nurse. And I'm like, I'm having whiplash.
Yeah, because if you're going to be like in my space in such an intimate
of
way, yeah, I got to get close to you and I got to do it fast.
Yeah. And please don't leave me.
Yeah.
Because if I call someone else to change my diaper,
yeah,
and it's not you, I'm going to have issues. This is not the first time I want to meet you.
Or how I want it to happen.
Yeah. So, okay. New nurse comes in. She's lovely.
Uh-huh.
She's older and like real, like, we're going to fucking get shit done. And I was like, you're what I need in this moment.
I wonder if it's the same one who squirted me.
I don't know, but she was very maternal and I loved her.
Was she little? The older?
I have pictures of her. I'll show you. I have pictures. I have pictures of the birth. Yes, that I haven't shown you because I didn't want to tell you. Oh, I do.
Okay.
Go ahead. So she's like, hey, we're going to fucking get this shit done. Your water needs to be broken because they told me they were going to break it when I got my epidural and the Pitocin, and they didn't.
Oh.
They were like, oh, we're calling your doctor to make sure that we can. I was like, and my nurse was like, break the fucking water.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we need to happen. She's so close.
I love that nurses are like, fuck the doctor. I know what we need to do.
And she did.
And they do.
She was like, I've done this for 30 years. She told me, she was like, break the fucking water. The baby will come out.
Mm-hmm.
And so they did it. The resident was like, oh, we have to wait, blah, blah, blah. Well, then my nurse was like, I'm going to get another fucking resident. We're going to break this shit.
Yeah.
Well, they had to wait till the new residents came in. So that's like 8:30 that we're waiting.
Yes.
That's why this took so long. So at this time, my nurse, she sits me up in the throne position again.
Yep.
So my legs are like this, like a butterfly.
Yep.
And I'm sitting up in my bed like this. And everything is like, she's like, we're letting gravity do the work for you. That's what we need to do.
Yep.
And I was like, tight. I could feel her moving down. Like,
whoa.
so she's like, when you feel pressure, let me know. And I was like, I feel a lot of pressure. This is right at the time. The resident comes in, boom, breaks my water. I go in 30 minutes. I go from an 8 to a 9.5 in 30 minutes. And she's like, get back up on that throne. We're fucking getting you to 10.
Yeah.
So it's so crazy because at this point I'm like sweating. I'm starting to get real sick again.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, it's called transitioning or whatever when you're like about to push. And I was like, oh God, because I knew like I got to get pepped up because pushing was the hardest part with Noah.
Yep.
With Noah, I pushed for 3.5 hours.
Yeah. So in your head, you're like traumatized that you're about to go into a marathon.
Yes, fuck. I need to get some energy because this is going to take me forever. So she comes back in 30 minutes to check. And she goes, I feel, but there's like a little part that's still like there. So when they check you, they check around. And she was like, but there's a small part of cervix I'm still feeling, but I can feel the whole head.
Got it.
But and then she checks again and she's like, oh my God, that's her ear. That's how low my child was. It was not a part of my cervix. It was my kid's ear. My kid was facing upwards, first of all. Yeah. So she's like,
so they were thinking that you weren't 10 centimeters because they thought there was cervix, but it was her ear.
It was her ear. That's how low she was. So the lady was like, hold on. Oh, fuck. We're going to call the doctor right now. We're not, because normally they start pushing. And then when they get to like about to crown, they call the doctor. She was like, we got to call because this baby's coming out in like a couple pushes. Yeah. She's like, I say 3 pushes max and she'll be out.
Oh,
and I was like,
my God. You're like, so not 3 hours?
Fuck yeah. So she's like, sit there. Don't move. I'm going to call.
Don't you fucking sneeze.
Don't fuck. If you feel pressured, do not push anything.
Yeah.
I'm going to call the doctor. And I was like, okay. So she does. We wait for him to get there. I was really excited because this was at 9:30. I thought that if he got there at 10, that I could have my baby at 10:20 on 10:20. But he got there at 10:15. I was like, come on, man.
Yeah, fuck.
So he gets all set up.
Men.
I know. I'm like, really fucked up my chance, man. For me, 10:20 at 10:20. I was so excited.
Don't you like numbers? Like, I like numbers.
And he did it. Hold on. I have to make sure I'm not missing anything. Let me check back in my... Okay. So... Now the doctor comes. They're like, let's go. We're about to push. Corey's face when he comes over to hold my hand and he's like sweating but excited and nervous. Yeah. And I'm like, forget it. Let's fucking do this. So I start pushing and it's trauma all over again. I'm on my back. I can't feel what the fuck I'm doing.
Okay.
At all. The lady's like, my nurse is like, push. And then I stop and she goes, honey, you are not getting anywhere.
Damn.
I know. Fuck. Ow. I was like, Vicky, fuck. But like, that's what I needed. So I was like, Vicky, tell me what I got to do to get... She's like, you push it all in your face. I was just like...
You mean I can't just make sounds and get her out?
She was like, push like you're pooping. I was like, I already pooped. I shit out all of my shit. If I could, I would. Well, what happened was because she was sunny side up, she was facing up. She wasn't coming down. So they flipped me on my side.
You're on your side?
I am pushing on my side. What? Hold on, I'm going to do a visual. Are you ready? Like this, with my leg up in the air. Okay? Yeah.
You're pushing like that?
Like that. I am pushing. And all of a sudden, when I get into that position, I feel her. And I was like, oh, I'm doing it. And they're all like, yeah. What the fuck? I know. So the reason it took me so long, I only pushed like 5 times. But in between all of my contractions, like there was just like dead air. So we were all just like,
yeah.
I'm joking with the nurses.
Do you still have your epidural at this point?
Oh, yeah. But I could feel everything. It wasn't as strong. I stopped dosing myself.
Okay. I was going to be like, how are you fucking able to balance on your side?
Well, they were holding me.
Okay.
A lot of people. It took a lot of people.
Okay.
So at one point, the nurse goes, I thought she was asking me, like, what do you want to drink after this? Like, what's your first drink going to be? And she was, like, asking me, hey, I can get you a pop when you're done. So she's like, what do you want to drink after this? And I go, a beer. She was like, we can't get that for you. So
and you're like, come on, Vicky, be a team player.
Don't fuck with me like this. So I pushed like 3 times on my side. Boom. They're like, girl, her head is there. Flip back over.
Yeah.
2 more pushes. So I push. Her head is there. Like I can feel it crowning. They tell me to stop. I look over at Corey and I said, hey, remember a couple days ago when I was like, oh, it feels like her head is right in my puss. I was wrong. This feels... You know how I know her head was right there? Because they had me feel it. They were like, her head's coming out. Feel it. And I was like, that's her fucking dome.
Oh my God.
So then they sit my chair up and they're like, we're going to have you push one more time, Sierra. We want you to watch. And so
they're really guiding you and giving you fucking front row seat.
You know Kourtney Kardashian, though? She was like, whoa.
Yes.
That's what I did, but I didn't grab her. But I was pushing. Corey was holding my hand. And I was straight up staring at her come out. And the
oh my God, like because she was face up, you could like look at her face. Oh my God, that's beautiful.
It was. I have pictures of it.
Were you taking the picture? No. I was gonna be like, that's fucking weird. Okay.
I was like,
maybe you don't be the one to do it.
No. But I didn't hear the doctor because at that point I was like fucking Rocky Balboa, like, you know?
Yeah.
And the doctor was like, hey, slow.
Yeah.
Because if you push too hard at that point, when the whole body's coming out, you're going to tear it. But my adrenaline was going and I was like, fuck. I'm just rocketing her out. And they were like, whoa, that's not what we said. Anyways, I tore a lot. It hurt like a bitch. But I watched her. So she comes out, right? Like fucking bloop. And her head, I watch her head go. Like it blew up like a balloon. It came first of all, they talk about how big your vagina gets. They don't talk about how small their heads are. But it was like,
I mean, they are big.
Oh, your vaginas or your heads?
The head. It's big for it to, like, in comparison.
But then
but it gets bigger.
Puffs out.
Yeah.
Within seconds.
Yes.
Anyways, so.
Well, that's why, like, they have soft spots and stuff because their cranium, is that what it's called? Their skull literally, like, collapses on itself to get out of you.
She looked like a freaking cone.
Yeah.
It was like a torpedo. And then it was like.
She was like, get cute. The camera's out.
And let me tell you, she wasn't.
Oh,
she was the cheesiest baby. Wait till you see her. So she had vernix. Vernix is what is covering, if you don't know, they're in water for 9 months, so they have to have this protective layer. It looks like fucking Parmesan cheese.
Yeah.
And she was the cheesiest baby I've ever seen come out. But she was beautiful. I have pictures. I'll show you. So she starts screaming, and they just have her laying there. And she's like, fucking, she's doing the startle reflex where she's like, what the fuck? And I was like, does somebody want to pick her up? She seems pissed. She's a little bit new. Maybe help her. I was talking to her.
She's never been here before.
I kept going, me too, girl, me too. Like, my shit is busted right now. And but they were letting, as my placenta was still inside me, they were letting all of the cord blood go into her. For like 3 minutes, they left her there until it was completely white. The cord was white, and then they had Corey cut it.
Oh.
And then they just tossed her onto me. I have pictures of that too, where I was like, clean her up. They put her onto me. She immediately shits. All over both of us. And I was like,
girl.
She do be shitting.
She do be shitting.
Above all else, we be shitting. So yeah, she shit all over me.
Like on a scale of pooparooski to poopocalypse.
Well, first of all, here's the deal. They cleaned it up, so I couldn't really tell. Yeah. But then when they came to give me my pain meds, I put my hand out and there was shit. So I was like, real quick, could you also clean the baby shit off? She set the pills in my hand first. And then I was like, hey, you want to clean me off?
Do you think my hand always has shit on it? Like, why would you do that? Or are you not paying attention?
Yeah, give me new pills.
Yeah.
I'm not putting those in my mouth.
You did, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was in so much pain.
I knew it.
I'm like, I don't have time. Honestly, I'll snort them.
Yeah. Crunch those up for me.
I was because then they shut the epidural off and they're like, you're good, right? Bye. And I was like, everything hurts. So anyways, I have a picture of my placenta too. I delivered the placenta. They stitched all my shit up. Mm-hmm. And then it's just crazy how everybody's like, congrats, bye. And then they all just leave. And I'm like,
yeah,
that's it? Like, now
how long were they stitching you up for?
A while. Yeah, I didn't see, but Corey, I was like, did I get stitches? And Corey was like, fuck yeah. You sure tore. I was like, great. I thought so.
We be tearing.
I couldn't feel it because I was just like, good around.
Yeah.
Like that adrenaline.
The idea of you Rocky Balboaing her out of you.
I was like, ah!
No, you're not pushing in your face anymore. You're like, I feel it.
I did. And it was a beautiful moment. And they were like, slow down.
You need to calm down.
That is teaser.
I know. We're bringing
that's
her back.
One of my favorite ones. So then they, you do skin to skin for an hour, and it was beautiful. She latched right away. I started breastfeeding. It was so nice. Like they were like, oh my God, that never happens. And she breastfed so well, like right off the bat. Never had a problem. Then they're like, hey, the first time that you go to the bathroom, you need to call somebody. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay. Well, I don't have to pee yet. And then all of a sudden I fucking did. And I was like, hey, I gotta call somebody. And you have to
Did you feel like you had to pee?
No.
Okay.
But I felt like I should because I drank so much shit at that point that I was like, I need to go pee.
That was how it was with me. They were like, you need to do this and you need to do it a couple times before you leave.
They were like, we're going to make sure that you do because if you don't, we're not letting you leave.
Right. Because it can be an indication of an issue.
Yeah.
So, but you guys remember Mario Kart Erica? She's had to have catheters before. Mm-hmm. And so I remember when we were living together, her first pee, after a catheter, she was just like scream crying from the bathroom in pain. And I remember being like, I never fucking want to have a catheter ever. But you get one if you have an epidural. Yep. And so I was so scared to pee after, but you have to. And so my body was like, you know what? We don't have to. We don't gotta pee.
We can just keep this shit in.
Yeah.
Wow. Trigger warning. This is gonna get graphic. So the lady stands me up.
As the rest of it hasn't been.
Yeah. Well, this part's bad even for me. Because you know me and blood.
Yeah.
Well, she stands me up and it's like the fucking movie Carrie. Like it's like boom all over the floor. And I go, oh my God. And she goes, that's okay. That's okay. Okay. And I was like, methinks it isn't.
Yeah, methinks no.
That's not good. And she's like, no, that happens all the time. You've been laying down for a long time. Like your uterus is.
Yep.
Here's something they don't tell you. When you're breastfeeding after, and especially if it's your second baby, we talked about this, the cramps that you get.
So much worse.
Dude, I was like sick. Mm-hmm. And it was squeezing all of that like to get it to go back down to size. So that's what happened. And so I went to the bathroom. It was the worst fucking pain ever. And then she's like getting my diaper ready for me. And she's putting like 50 different pain medications on. And I was like, how bad is it? Because they did not do this for my first. And she's like, you're going to need this, like all of this. I'm going to get you extra.
Did you not tear with Noah?
I had an episiotomy, which was way better.
Really?
Yes.
Because they don't do that often.
No,
anymore.
they don't.
Okay.
And I think they should.
Because everything you're explaining is what they did for me for both Ollie and Forrest.
They let you tear?
They let me tear, and then they did the whole medicine cocktail.
Oh, yeah, they didn't do that with Noah. And I remember my postpartum was not bad with Noah. Like, I didn't even realize I had stitches with him.
What?
Yeah. At all. Until, like, the lady came in and she was like, can I check your stitches? And I was like, fucking what stitches?
Where?
Yeah, and this one I was like, I ripped my ass, didn't I?
Yeah.
I feel that.
That's one big hole, huh?
Yeah. So, I went back. The other thing they don't tell you is that I started shaking, like convulsing. Like they brought me in food to eat and I was like, like could not eat because everything was shaking. They're like, that's normal. They put like 4 blankets on me and I was like,
well, yeah. And they tell you like, don't. It's
all of your hormones coming down.
Well, when I was getting stitched up, I started shaking really, really, really bad. And they were like, don't try to control it. Yeah. We're fine. Because I felt bad that I'm like, you're trying to stitch me up and I'm like, a moving target. Yeah. And they're like, don't try and control it because you're going to feel like you were in a car crash if you tighten up your muscles.
That's what they told me too. They were like, just let it ride. And I was like, literally just because I started trying to tense up so that it wouldn't be. And my arms.
Because it's embarrassing.
It was. I was like, this is fucking.
I'm so sorry to be shaking in front of you guys.
Like uncontrollably shaking. So, sorry. My last note says Sawyer is bored. Watched her come out. Skin to skin for an hour. Cheesy.
I love reading notes like when we write them in the way that we do because I'm like, what the fuck am I talking about?
Why did I put that?
Got the point across.
Yeah. The other thing they don't tell you about is the hot flashes, which I'm experiencing right now. If you see me with this, dude, I can't. Everybody's like, if you're content, then the baby's content. Like, because I'm always afraid that I'm underdressing or overdressing her. It's like fucking whatever. But I'm like, I don't know, because one second I'm literally hot as Hades right now, and then the other second I'm like freezing cold.
I'll tell you, I always knew if Forrest was overheating, if I felt overheated. It was, I can't explain it. This probably sounds so woo-woo to people, but like, even if I was in a different room, if I started to feel overheated and I heard him crying, I go, I bet he's overheated. Yep. I bet he feels too hot. We need to go change him and put him in less clothing. And that was always the case. Because your the reason they do skin to skin a lot is because your temperature regulates theirs. And so then I was like, but now is he controlling mine? What happened?
What have we done? It's like, I don't know. Maybe I need to do more skin to skin to help her regulate mine, because I'm just like a friggin' sweaty mess all the time, or I'm freezing.
Well, that's also your hormone crash.
Yeah. But. So that's the other thing I wanted to talk about. the other thing they don't really talk about is that your adrenaline is up so high, and when you're in the hospital, it's so high, and then when you go home, it crashes down hard.
Yeah.
Like hard.
And it's such a different environment for the baby. Like the hospital is, first of all, a shock to the system, but then like the car ride and then being in the house, like all the new sounds, the new smells, like everything is overstimulating.
Yep.
So
for them and you, like, 'cause you're a new person now too. Your hormones are insane. And
there's a new person in your space.
Yeah.
And now you're introducing this fragile thing to all the stuff that you're like, what can harm you?
Yes. And like, I didn't have postpartum anxiety the first time. I definitely had it the second time. I was like, the
So
first
you have
night,
it now, you think?
Yeah. The first night, I'm talking to a therapist again. So
You are?
Yay!
Yay!
So I had to, because I'm like, I can't do postpartum depression again. I didn't, but the anxiety part, now I constantly can't sleep because I'm like, is she
that's
good?
That's the scary thing too, is like they ask you at like your 6-week appointment, and then they ask you again, I think at like their maybe their 4-month and their 6-month appointment. Like they had me fill out a paper, and I know that not everywhere does this. Like I have a friend in Louisiana, like they did not ask her these questions, and it's tragic how little care mothers receive
afterwards. Because you're in the 4th trimester. Like this is my 4th trimester. I'm still not back to normal. My hormones are still figuring their shit out. I'm on very little sleep right now. I don't feel like myself. Today was the first day that I felt like me again.
Yeah.
Just because I got ready and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But like, I'm barely sleeping. I'm covered in another person's fluids all the time. Like
you have no
throws
freaking
up
clue
down my tits. And I'm just like,
and
why?
that is so overstimulating. Smelling like someone else, feeling fluids on you,
like
not being able to wear clean clothes or feeling confident. Like it does a number on your mental health.
Not to mention healing postpartum wise this time hurt. And like I had a very hard time. I remember my mom and grandma came over at one point and I just started bawling and they were like, are you okay? I'm like, I don't have postpartum depression. I'm just in pain. Like literally this is pain crying because I am hurting so bad and I'm trying to get the laundry done and the dishes done because she's shitting on everything and puking on everything. And I only have so many sleepers that have the double zipper. So I want to get them washed, and going up and down steps, not working for me.
Yeah.
So a little tip, because I did get the baby blues, which is so normal. Like you're going to feel like shit. It's so funny the intrusive thoughts you have, because I kept thinking like, oh, I missed the hospital for so and I opted, they wanted me to stay an extra day and I opted to leave early because I wanted to go see Noah and like whatever. So, but I was like crying that I missed being pregnant.
What?
Yeah, thank you. We all know how much I fucking could not say.
How excited you were to get her out.
I was just sitting there crying like, I miss being pregnant. She would kick and I would be like, I used to feel that inside me. So a little tip, when I would get weepy like that and start feeling those feelings, I took off my top and my bra and then took off her clothes but her diaper and put her on me and started doing skin to skin again and like smelled her head and stuff. I swear to God, it made me feel better.
That's good.
And
like
put
medicine.
on a comfort show. I've watched New Girl twice.
The whole thing?
The whole thing.
Holy shit.
2 times through since she's been born.
Oh my God.
It's what I watch when I'm feeding in the middle of the night and stuff. It's like it's something that I can put on and it's like feels like friendship, but also I don't care if I miss them, whatever. So yeah, that's my journey.
Wow.
I can't wait to show you these pictures.
I'm so excited to see them.
So excited to show. I haven't showed like anybody except for obviously my family. But
How is she?
Oh my God, amazing. She's the best baby.
Yeah.
I'm having a little bit of anxiety now because I'm like, I haven't been away from her this long. But I know she's good. She's with her dad, so she's fine.
Yeah. Do you believe that?
That he's her dad? Just kidding. That she's good.
Yeah.
I think she's probably fine. Good. My breastfeeding journey is going great.
That's good.
And it didn't with Noah. It was so hard. She's like freaking great at it, which is really nice because I hate doing dishes.
Yes.
It's like not having to wash bottles. It is a little hard having to be the only person that feeds her.
Yeah.
And she doesn't sleep for more than 2 hours. So that's tough.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, I can sleep during the day. That's why if you text me at like noon to 3, I'm probably mid-napping.
I don't expect a quick response often.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, everything is pretty good. I'm a lot happier this time around than I was.
That's good.
Don't tell no one.
You're in a lot more stable situation.
It wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
She also doesn't cry unless she needs something, which is fucking, except for that one day. That was literally, which she projectile vomited, and so something that I ate, I think
Sierra was going to come over and do the photos for Moment House with us, but Sawyer had other plans.
She was like, and then she shit everywhere, and I was like, so you're allergic probably to something that I ate, which I just haven't eaten what I ate that day.
Yeah.
Oh, in my first postpartum poop. So this is the part I wanted to tell you about so bad, and now I forgot it. But
the first postpartum poop?
No.
Oh.
Well, technically, yes.
I was going to say, you threw that out and then now you're switching it?
Well, technically, yeah. So because I had that big shit, I was like, tight, I didn't poop. I asked Corey. I was like, don't fucking lie to me.
He wouldn't.
He wouldn't. If anybody knows Corey.
Even if you would have asked him to lie, he would not have lied.
Nope, I know. So I was like, give it to me straight.
Yeah.
And he's like, I didn't see poop. I think I would have seen it. I think
he would have called it out.
I do too. I feel like
in the moment he'd been like, "Oh, there's a poop. There is a poop.
She's shitting." So I did it. But then afterwards,
I just imagine him yelling, "That is a good baby," as she comes out. That's the most Corey thing I could think of. Is that is a good baby.
She is a good girl.
If I know one thing, it is that is a good baby.
He said that so many times.
I know it.
Oh, that's hilarious. So after everything happens and they're all leaving the room, I'm having those cramps from breastfeeding, right? Mm-hmm. And then also I have just the most insane gas. Like, I can't stop farting.
Okay.
And it's so loud because the epidural's still wearing off, so I can't really.
And it's wet down there.
It was so wet. So I kept telling the lady, I'm like, I'm so sorry. I think I'm shitting. And she was like, no, that's gas. Like, it happens after labor and all the hormones are releasing and everything is really wet. That's
I wonder
what she
why
said.
You don't queef after birth.
Probably because your hole's so big. Like, isn't it queef? It's like
because it doesn't come back real close.
My shit was open. Yeah. So I was like, okay, whatever. I just stayed tootin', right? So Pam.
Did you say I stay tootin'?
Stayed tootin'.
Okay.
So Pam, my girl, the one girl that I had, I can't remember her name. I'm sorry, you were a wonderful nurse as well. But she helped me my first time. That was when the Carrie thing happened. Then Pam came in. Pam was super fucking cool. And she helped me for my second one. And she pulls my diaper.
Okay. I like that you keep calling it a diaper.
It was like mesh underwear, but with 7 pads in it.
Yeah.
All the way up to my asshole. Anyways, I did shit. And Pam was so cool about it. She was like, whoop.
And you pooped your pants?
I did.
You pooped your diaper?
I was so proud of myself for not pooping during birth. I shit immediately after. I thought I farted, but I sharted.
Oh
my God. It was just a small little turd. But it was mushed in with everything else, and I was like, that's poop. And she was like, oh, here. And she tried to like get it away before I could see it. And I was like, I saw that poop.
Don't you take it away. I saw that poop.
Give it to me straight.
Yeah.
I know, Pam.
Don't you pretend like I didn't poop in there. I pooped in there.
She goes, it happens all the time. And I was like, I feel like it doesn't.
Does it, Pam?
I feel like most people get it out when they push. Why did mine wait?
Mine waited a whole week.
Well, so then I didn't shit for a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then my first poop was so bad.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was
you
so
didn't
bad.
stand, did you?
I didn't.
I fucking told you to stand.
It was so bad. I couldn't do anything but just like,
oh no.
I put on some TikTok so I could like.
It didn't have to be that way.
It didn't, but it was.
Did you take stool softeners?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm
Are
still
you lying?
No, I'm still
Okay.
taking them because my shits are not regular yet.
Oh, okay.
And it's terrible. I
Fair
took
enough.
stool softeners and Metamucil, and that shit was still hard.
Mm.
So I literally thought I popped a stitch.
Pop your stitches like this.
Afterwards, I got a shower,
Uh-huh.
and then I stood over a mirror, and I was like, "What's up?"
Yeah. How's it look?
So far, really big.
Yeah. I still have a bubble on the back of mine from
Your stitches?
Dude, I don't know if you remember when I told you I had Ollie.
Oh,
I
wait.
tore.
Hold on, I'll tell you what my butthole looks like. Have you ever let's just pretend we're in an airplane and we're flying over like a field of hot air balloons.
What?
That's what my butthole looks like.
A field of hot air balloons?
Because I got hemorrhoids.
Mega hemorrhoids.
They out here.
Whenever I had Ollie, I tore so badly that he had to stitch me in a way that created this like grape on my taint.
That's an extra treat.
And he was like, "You're gonna go ahead." He grabbed my hand and he was like, "I want you to feel this." And I was like, "I don't think I want to feel that." And he was like, "Go ahead." And he made me like tap it. And it felt like a grape.
He's like, "That's a special button."
You don't press it.
If you press that, I'll be here.
Yeah.
Call me, beat me if you want to reach me.
But I touched it and he's like, "That will go down." I can confidently say Ollie's going to be 3 in December and it is still there. It's not as big.
Yeah, it's a tiny guy now.
But I can still touch it and feel its grape-likeness.
Whenever I had Noah, I looked, and because it was an episiotomy, it was like straight up and down. This guy is like fucking Frankenstein in that bitch.
Oh, yeah. Same.
I'm like, what
Same.
happened now?
Yeah, one hangs lower than the other.
Shit is ruined. No, it's not. It'll
Yeah.
go back to normal. I know. 'cause
Looking
I
like
had a
Arby's up at this bitch.
Taint meat is tainted.
I'm not
Anyways.
sorry for that.
Me neither. Fuck it.
Who cares? Whew. Okay, hold on. I need to mute this.
I saw that guy coming up.
Okay.
So that's my story.
I loved it. It was definitely worth the 3-week wait.
Good. I'm glad because it was a lot.
It's been hard because
Yeah.
like we've talked a few times and you're like, "I can't tell you. Oh,
I
I want
know.
to tell you. Oh, I can't."
That part, when you were in my bed, I was like, "Oh, I almost."
When I was in your bed.
She came over and laid in my bed with me while I was breastfeeding.
That's a
That's
true.
what happened.
That is a true.
But we were like looking at her, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
pet her head. I almost told you something. I almost told you the ear story because I was like, feel her ear. That's the part.
Yeah,
She
because
was
I kept texting Sierra and I was like, "I need
To
to rub my cheek on her head.
Yes.
Like I just need to rub it."
And she's, God, she's such a beautiful little baby.
She is.
She's got the biggest cheeks I've ever seen.
Cheeks for
We
days.
knew that she was gonna have cheeks
We
for
did.
days. She's got big old honkers,
Mm-hmm.
and she's so cross-eyed. In the morning, she looks at me like this. And it's so funny. I was like, "Hi," and she's like, I'm like, "Who's a pretty girl?"
You are.
But yeah, she is a bad bitch. If anyone was wondering, she's a bad bitch. She was
Certified.
born on an Aries full moon.
Hell yeah, she
She's
was.
friggin' Scorpio.
I
Nope,
went out.
she's a Libra.
I went out and I took a picture of the full moon on that night.
Do you want to
so-
know what's insane? I just wanted to look up for me and Noah. Noah was born on like a waxing crescent or some shit. I was born on a full moon too.
You were?
I was.
Wow.
I know. Isn't
She's
that
going to be
weird?
witchy.
Yes.
Everything you do
It's
is
rooted in witchcraft.
Did you just fart with your hands when you did that? I don't think you're going to be able to hear it
can
because this
never do it
mic
again.
filters stuff out.
Oh. Anyway, so I'm talking to my therapist about diagnosing me with ADHD.
Well, I
think that's important for what we're doing right now.
I also called because I think I need to get on medication.
I think I'm going to get on medication. And you're going to the same doctor's office that I went to.
But I know I need to get on medication, but I don't know if it's going to be for ADHD or my anxiety. Mm-hmm. Also, did I tell you that I have depression?
Congratulations.
Thank you. Barbara was talking to me and she's like, so what would you rate your anxiety today? And I was like, I don't know, probably like I've been staying at like a 6. And she goes, and your depression? And I go, my what? She's like, how would you rate your depression? I go, I have depression. She was like, yeah. And I'm like, probably also a 6. Yeah. I don't know.
You feel like a loss of, well, that's why I felt bad because I wasn't like doing things with the podcast and stuff. I knew I was supposed to be taking a break, but also I got like into the blues and depression stuff, and I just like literally nothing was besides the baby. I think that was also anxiety, but both of those things I was just like fixated on her and only her, and I was like, I don't want to think about anything else. And then when I was getting ready tonight, I like ran out to Corey and I was like, I feel excited about something again. And it was so great because I was like, God, I thought I was losing that. And that's a scary feeling. I'm assuming that's how you felt after Forest in that December when we were thinking about not doing it. And that was scary because that's how I started to feel. And I was like, I love this. I know I love this. I don't want to start thinking that like I don't care about it.
It's been really difficult because I want to talk about this. I've been keeping notes for potential topics for us.
Yeah, let's sit down and do that because again, I want to be fully in this shit again.
Well,
I'm ready.
one of the things I wanted to talk about was the difference between depression and burnout because they can look a lot alike. And one of the things that this doctor was talking about before I got uninterested,
sure,
because I have ADHD.
Well, do you know anxiety and depression are kind of like attached? Okay,
chicken and the egg situation.
Sure.
But she was saying that burnout can look like depression, but it can also cause depression. Yeah. And one of the ways you can tell that it's depression and not burnout is if you no longer find joy in things or if you don't feel... another thing with, I think it was burnout. We have to actually talk about it because I'm mixing them up now. But it was talking about how you can get so invested in something that you don't feel proud of yourself when you get to the accomplishment. So like when I was telling you about Moment House and how it was going and we were seeing all of the feedback, I was feeling nothing.
Yes.
And it wasn't because I wasn't excited. It wasn't because I wasn't grateful. It wasn't because I wasn't so stoked.
But I didn't want to like put that on you just because I was like, maybe she's just stressed out.
No, I think I'm in a depression right now. And it's a very weird thing to be so excited and to
also feel nothing.
Yes.
I know.
To want something so bad and love people so much and be like, I can't wait to share this with you guys. But also because I'm so burnt out that I feel nothing. Yeah. And that's something I'm working on in therapy is like, I want to feel joy around this stuff. Yes. I'm working so fucking hard. What's the point of it if I can't enjoy it? Yes. And I went out and got brunch with Rachel the other day and without kids. And so it was just me and Rachel and we were talking and I looked at her and I go, this feels really weird. Yeah. I don't know. This isn't work related. Yes. We are just two people eating a meal and talking about like life stuff. Yeah. And I don't know how to do this. Yeah, I don't know how to do this. This feels weird. And she's like, Jerry, this is what life is supposed to be like.
The joys.
Yeah. Not
just working and momming.
But I'm also going to talk to the doctor about potentially being diagnosed with PMDD because my cycles ever since Forest have been really bad. Yeah. My mood swings are incredibly intense, and Shane recently said to me, like, I'm having a really hard time seeing you like this every single month. And he wasn't relating it to my cycle, but I just started recognizing
the pattern
of it. Yep. And this is happening around my cycle. Yep. And
hormones, man. Until this second time having a baby, I didn't realize what hormones are fucking crazy.
Yes.
The thing, because I went into having Sawyer so logical and like I know what I'm going to think afterwards. I'm going to combat it with this thought and
you
this
can't.
thought. And I couldn't. I literally sat there and bawled because I wasn't pregnant. And in my mind, I was thinking like,
You
Sierra,
didn't want to be.
hated that.
Yes.
You hated that feeling. Nothing about that was, and I was just like, I'm not pregnant anymore.
Yeah.
What? Like it's, it hormonal things are so hard.
Well, it's so stigmatized as well.
Yes.
Like just like I mentioned, like my internal misogyny.
Oh, you're on your cycle.
I have internalized, taboo. What's the word I was just saying? What was that word? No, the one before that.
Internalized?
No. It's where things are looked at badly.
Stigmatized.
Yes. Yeah. I had in my mind medication and mental health are so even though we speak out against it and are for therapy and are for advocating for yourself and are for prioritizing your mental health, I still have a stigma in my mind about it.
Yeah.
And I watched a video. Raw Beauty Christie is a YouTuber that I watch, and she was gone for like 2 months because of a mental health crisis and came out and started speaking. And I resonated with so much of what she said. And I was like, one, I need to talk to my doctor about this. And two, her exact reasons for shying away from medication were my reasons for shying away from medication. And knowing that we have a platform, I don't want to be someone who further stigmatizes medication.
Right.
But I was raised with the idea that you could think yourself out of stuff and positive mental attitude and just like hustle and toughen it out and you can do it.
That's what I tried to do with like logic after I had Sawyer, and then I was like, you can't logic yourself out of these hormones. Like they are gonna sneak their way into those intrusive thoughts, everything. This is not something that logically you can just be like, I know this is hormones, I'm gonna shut it down. You fucking can't. Like I couldn't.
Right.
And there's also something, because you were talking about another influencer, I think there's a good part about being a quote unquote influencer, or like whatever we do, whatever we are. I know it's weird to call me. I don't want to like influencers. Like stop.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? In the
but that's
public
it's stigmatized.
eye. Yeah. But like just being in the public eye is puts a whole new like. There's like a level of responsibility you feel. There's a level of just like the eye is on you at all times. And so you have to be like perfect and on it. And like you can't have, even though we talk about that we feel these things, I feel like I can't show it.
Yeah.
Because.
Well, and that's the thing too, is I was thinking about how they see us for an hour, maybe 2 hours every week. And we are at our best, quote unquote best in those moments. Yeah. And you don't see us when we are at our lows.
Like this right here has not been what I've been like the past 3 weeks.
No.
Ask anybody who's been around me. I have been, I love my baby, but I have been.
I had a panic attack so bad that I was hiding behind the couch, hyperventilating and crying the other day. And Ollie came over and he was like, "You're okay, Mama. You're okay." And I just kept saying, I was on the phone crying to Shane, and I just looked at Ollie and I'm like, "This isn't your job. You're not supposed to be taking care of me."
Noah did the same. See, I feel so sad because I was trying to hide myself, but I also didn't want to hide away in my room the whole time. And I told Noah, like, I explained to him as best as I could what was going on and why I was like weepy and not myself and whatever. And so he went to my mom's and my sister's one night. My sister called me and she was like, "Are you okay? I really want to be able to do stuff for you. I'm scared that you're like getting into that, whatever." And she goes, "Well, Noah was over," and he was like, "I'm just sad because my mom's always sad because of the baby." And I was like, fuck, I don't want him to think like,
and it's hard for them to understand.
I tried to explain like it's not her fault, but it's also like my hormones, and so it's not your fault, and it's not that I'm sad,
and it's not my fault.
No, so I was trying to explain all these things because I can't hide it from him. Like he's gonna see me sad, and I've talked about this. I don't cry a lot, so my son has not seen me cry a lot. So the fact that he is, he's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And so, that broke my heart. And then today he said the same thing. He was like, "Hey, Mom, I'm really sorry about something that he did this morning that we got into it about," which we didn't even really. Yeah. We just like had 2 seconds where we argued, and he was like super over apologetic. And I was like, "No, I can tell that he's doing that because he knows that I'm already like having a hard time." And I'm like, "Please stop. It's not your job."
Yeah.
But also I love you for being such a good human.
Thank you, but please don't do that. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. And I think that we're gonna hopefully elaborate on that. We'll keep you posted on both of our journeys and yours with your postpartum and back to therapy.
Because I'll tell you, I'm at a high right now, but I know it goes back down. Like when they say 4th trimester, they mean for 12 weeks. So it's not just like for the first couple weeks.
I would venture to say it's the whole year.
Yeah.
I would venture to say it's the whole year. The idea that you are no longer at risk of those
feelings or
and
thoughts.
I think that's why anyone who experiences the intense hormones at like 6 months, my onset with Ollie was between 6 and 9 months, and with Forrest it was 9-12.
Really?
So like in my head, I really struggled with I shouldn't be feeling this right now. And maybe it was just regular depression and not related to postpartum, but I don't know.
It could, but you still have those. Again, it could be the PMDD from your cycle gets all messed up after that. That's why I'm nervous about like getting back on birth control and all of these things that I haven't had to think about for the past year. And I'm like, oh God.
Yeah.
Past almost 2 years.
Yeah.
That I haven't been on birth control, but
it's going to be different.
I know.
It's going to be different.
I know. So yes, we'll keep you updated. And I'm glad to be back. I'm
Yay,
excited.
Woohoo!
Don't think that I'm not, because I am. Trust me.
Same. Me too.
It gives me a...
Glad to get back into our routine.
Yeah, it gives me a purpose outside of being a human milk machine, which is what I am right now.
So thank you guys for hanging out with us and hearing Seabear's birth story.
Yay! Baby Sawyer. Yay. Baby soybean. That's all. I've literally...
Old sawmill.
I haven't stopped calling her soybean. It started as a joke when I was pregnant, and now I can't fucking stop.
Now it's sticking. It's staying forever.
Yes.
Well, that's that on
Sawyer.
Yeah. Coming into the world.
Yes.
We haven't done an outro in so long, so I don't even remember how this goes. Thank you all for hanging out. We love you so much. We will see you next week.
All right.
We're out.
Goodbye.
Damn, I did remember.
Yay!